This mirror-bright wafer will hold billions of electronic switches. Each one is tiny. Together, they become modern computing.
A transistor is a switch. Billions switching together create logic.
Phones, cars, servers, and medical devices all depend on them.
And almost nobody sees where those switches are made.
Today, we go inside transistor manufacturing.
Before sunrise, Maya checks the night's lithography data. At this scale, small movement becomes a big manufacturing problem.
Inside the fab, people disappear. Process control takes over.
That path starts with silicon, refined from quartz.
The raw material is purified until contamination drops to almost nothing.
Then one crystal is grown from molten silicon.
That crystal is sliced into wafers thin enough for precision processing. Each wafer is polished until the surface becomes nearly perfect. The transistor patterns arrive through masks built with extreme precision. Around the wafer come gases, metals, and chemicals measured for purity. Only then is the wafer sealed and sent to the line. First, the wafer is cleaned. Dust here becomes failure later. Next, a thin film is grown or deposited across the wafer.
Then photoresist is spun on as a light-sensitive layer.
Heat sets the coating before patterning begins. Now light transfers the pattern onto the resist. Alignment here has to stay exact, layer after layer.
Developing reveals where the wafer will be changed next.
Etch removes exposed material and leaves the intended structure. Then ions are driven in to create electrical regions.
A short heat cycle activates those implanted regions. Next, the gate structure is built to control current flow. After that, tiny openings are prepared for electrical connection.
Metal layers connect transistors into real working circuits.
Polishing flattens the wafer so the next layer stay accurate.
This cycle repeats many times, building complexity layer by layer.
After each critical step, the wafer is measured again.
At this scale, one small flaw can kill a die.
When the transistor stack is complete, the wafer is electrically tested.
Only after testing is the wafer separated into individual chips.
But today's production rules were written long before this wafer arrived.
The uniformity is drifting at the edge.
Adjust the focus map by 2 nanometers.
For Arjun, the hardest battle is not speed. It is variability.
At this scale, even rough edges change electrical behavior.
If one layer shifts by nanometers, every layer above suffers. That is why advanced manufacturing lives inside very narrow margins. Most of that work stays hidden until the next node ships. The biggest enemy is often simple: contamination. One particle can destroy every structure underneath it. So air, water, and chemicals are controlled relentlessly.
Another enemy is drift, when a good process slowly moves.
There's a critical deviation on the third overlay. Look at the energy spikes here. We need to initiate lockdown protocols immediately.
Even wafer flatness matters, because focus depends on surface control.
That is why metrology follows almost every critical step. A stable line is not luck. It is constant correction.
What this fab builds is invisible individually and enormous in total. These transistors become processors, memory, sensors, and power controllers.
Modern infrastructure runs on switches most people will never see. This disk is not one device. It is thousands, built at once. That is why transistor manufacturing sits beneath almost everything digital. Inside the fab, even getting dressed is part of quality control. Reference wafers help prove the tools still behave exactly as expected. When I started, this was state-of-the-art. Now look at the density we can achieve. It's remarkable how far we've come.
Are the chips working yet?
Just a second. Oh, wow. Look, Mom, they finally powered up.
Fantastic work, sweetie. For her, that means the process held.
From crystal silicon to working switches, that is transistor manufacturing.
What surprised you most about the process? Tell us below.
Next, we enter another factory built on precision people rarely notice. Process Pulse Factory. Subscribe for the next process.